In the heart of a bustling city, where the cacophony of honking cars and chatter of pedestrians creates a relentless symphony of urban life, have you ever wondered where one could find a moment of peace? A place where the noise fades into a mere whisper and serenity embraces you like a warm blanket. This is where our story unfolds, a hidden gem, a forgotten garden, cradled behind an old brick wall, where nature reclaims its rightful place amidst the concrete. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft golden hue across the sky, the city began to settle into a gentle rhythm. Elena, a gentle and introspective young woman in her late 20s, strolled down the quiet side street, her thoughts swirling like the autumn leaves that danced around her feet. With a lightly worn journal tucked under her arm, she sought solace from the relentless demands of her corporate job, a world that often felt too loud, too fast, and too overwhelming. Elena had a deep appreciation for nature, a love that rooted itself in her childhood. Memories of sun-drenched afternoons spent in lush parks and the sweet scent of blooming flowers lingered in her heart like a comforting melody. Yet, as she navigated the concrete jungle of her adult life, those moments of connection with nature had become rare, overshadowed by deadlines and the incessant buzz of notifications. On this particular evening, the air was crisp and cool, carrying with it the earthy fragrance of damp soil and the lingering sweetness of flowers. Elena inhaled deeply, allowing the fresh scent to calm her racing mind. Just as she rounded the corner, she caught sight of a weathered brick wall, partially hidden by a cascade of vibrant green ivy. The garden beyond it felt like a secret world, a refuge waiting to be rediscovered. With each step closer, a mix of anticipation and hesitation washed over her. The wildflowers peeked through gaps in the old bricks, their colors a riotous celebration against the dull backdrop of the city. A soft breeze rustled the leaves, whispering secrets of times long gone. Although the garden was a mere stone's throw away, the thought of stepping through the gate felt monumental, as if she were crossing a threshold into a realm of tranquility that she feared she did not deserve. As she stood before the gate, Elena's heart raced. She felt unworthy of entering such a serene sanctuary, burdened by the weight of her worries and insecurities. What if she disturbed the peace that had settled there? What if the beauty of the garden was meant for someone more deserving? Those thoughts ebbed and flowed like the tide, leaving her caught in a whirlpool of self-doubt. But the garden called to her, a siren song of solace in a world that felt increasingly chaotic. Just then, the clatter of a nearby gate startled her out of her reverie. From the shadows of the garden emerged an elderly gentleman, Mr. Thompson, the original caretaker of this forgotten space. His silver hair caught the last glimmers of sunlight, and his gentle smile radiated warmth, inviting her into the garden's embrace. "Ah, I see you found my little sanctuary," he said, his voice a soft rumble like distant thunder. "It's been a while since anyone has taken notice of it. Most are too busy to even look." Elena felt a flicker of hope at his words, a recognition that perhaps she wasn't alone in her search for peace. "It's beautiful," she murmured, her gaze sweeping across the garden. "I've never seen anything like it." Mr. Thompson chuckled softly, his eyes sparkling with memories. "Beauty has a way of hiding, doesn't it? Just like people." He gestured for her to come closer. "Would you like to step inside? It's a world apart from the chaos out there." As she stepped through the gate, the air shifted, enveloping her in a gentle embrace. The garden was a tapestry of colors, the rich greens of ferns, the delicate petals of daisies, and the brilliant bursts of lilac and gold from the wildflowers. The sounds of the city faded into a distant hum, replaced by the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle song of birds preparing for the night. Elena felt her heart begin to settle, the tension of the day dissolving like sugar in warm tea. In that moment, she realized that this garden was not just a forgotten patch of earth, it was a sanctuary, a place of healing and reflection. But as the sun sank lower, casting long shadows across the ground, a sense of unease crept back into her thoughts. Could she truly belong in a place so serene? Could she find peace amidst the chaos of her life? And so, as the first stars began to twinkle in the indigo sky, Elena took a deep breath, allowing the tranquility of the garden to seep into her very being. Little did she know, this would be the beginning of a journey not only into the beauty of this forgotten garden, but also into the depths of her own heart. A journey where she would learn that sometimes, amidst the noise of life, it is within ourselves that we must seek the quiet we so desperately crave. In the soft embrace of twilight, the forgotten garden revealed its secrets to Elena as she stepped through the wrought iron gate, the gentle creak echoing like a whisper of welcome. The air was thick with the scent of blooming jasmine and the earthy musk of damp soil, a soothing balm for her weary spirit. As she inhaled deeply, the weight of her corporate life began to lift, if only for a moment. Mr. Thompson was already there, seated on an old wooden bench that had seen better days, but was adorned with the delicate touch of nature, vines curling around its legs and patches of moss softening its surface. His silver hair glowed in the fading light, and his wise blue eyes sparkled with a kindness that was both grounding and encouraging. "Ah, Elena," he greeted her, his voice a gentle murmur. "You've come again." "I couldn't stay away," she replied, a shy smile playing on her lips as she settled beside him. The weight in her chest eased as she listened to the evening chorus of chirping crickets and the occasional rustle of leaves, a soothing symphony that enveloped them. As they shared stories, Mr. Thompson painted vivid pictures of the garden's past, how it once thrived with families picnicking under the shade of the grand oak tree that stood sentinel at the center. He spoke of laughter and love, of children chasing butterflies among the wildflowers, and of a time when the garden was a sanctuary for many. His words flowed like honey, sweet and warm, and with each story, Elena felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. Yet, as the night deepened, so did the shadows of unease. Mr. Thompson's tone shifted as he recounted the recent news. A developer had expressed interest in purchasing the land to erect a high-rise building, a bright beacon of modernity that would cast darkness over the garden forever. The urgency in his voice struck a chord deep within Elena. "But surely there's something we can do?" she asked, her heart racing at the thought of losing the sanctuary. "We can't just let it vanish." Mr. Thompson sighed, a sound heavy with resignation. "I fear many do not see the beauty in things that fade away. They only see the potential for profit." He paused, looking deep into her eyes. "But you, my dear, you see it. That is a beginning." Elena felt a swell of determination rise within her. She had been lost in the clamor of deadlines and meetings, her sense of self buried beneath expectations and the relentless grind of her job. But here, among the wildflowers and the whispers of the past, she began to unravel the layers of doubt that had clouded her mind. "Maybe we could organize something," she suggested, her voice gaining strength. "A community gathering to raise awareness. If we can show people how special this place is, perhaps we can save it." Mr. Thompson smiled, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. "That would be a marvelous start, but it won't be easy. Many will see only the concrete and steel they wish to build." As they spoke, darkness enveloped the garden, the first stars twinkling like distant lanterns in the sky. Elena felt the cool night air wrap around her, a gentle reminder of the world outside. The weight of her self-doubt lingered, but with each word exchanged with Mr. Thompson, she felt a shift, a realization that she could redefine her path, not just for herself, but for the garden that had become a refuge. Days turned into weeks as Elena found herself returning to the garden, each visit pulling her deeper into its embrace. She and Mr. Thompson began to plan their community event, brainstorming ways to draw in their neighbors and share the stories of the garden. They crafted flyers adorned with watercolor illustrations of the flowers and the oak tree, inviting others to witness the beauty that lay just beyond the brick wall.
But even as they worked, Elena wrestled with her inner turmoil. Each time she returned home, the chaos of the city would seep back into her thoughts, drowning her in anxiety about her job and the expectations that loomed like dark clouds overhead. She questioned her choices, wondering if she was strong enough to lead such an effort. Would people listen? Would they care? One evening, as she sat in the garden, the gentle rustling of leaves seemed to murmur encouragement. The soft glow of fireflies danced around her, casting a magical light that made the garden feel alive. Mr. Thompson joined her, sensing her unease. "Tell me, Elena," he began, his voice steady and calm. "What is it that you truly wish for?" "I want to feel connected," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper.
I want to belong to something bigger than myself, to find purpose beyond the cubicles and the numbers. Then you must believe in your worth, he replied, leaning forward, his gaze unwavering. You are not defined by your job. Your value lies in your passions, in your ability to connect with others and nurture the beauty around you. His words resonated within her, echoing the truth she had been denying. She looked out at the garden, at the beauty that flourished despite its neglect, and realized that she too could bloom amidst the chaos of her life. But the impending threat of the developer lingered like a shadow. Each day brought new worries, and as the date for the community gathering approached, Elena felt the weight of her mission grow heavier. She feared that despite their efforts, it might not be enough. One afternoon, as she sat on the old wooden bench, sketching ideas for the event, a sudden gust of wind swept through the garden, rustling the leaves and sending a chill down her spine. In that moment, she felt the urgency of time slipping away, a reminder that every moment counted, not just for the garden, but for her own journey. "Will you join me, dear listeners, in this moment of reflection?" she thought, her heart racing as she imagined sharing her fears and hopes with others. Let us take a deep breath together, inhaling the fragrance of possibility and exhaling the doubts that bind us. In that shared moment of vulnerability, she felt a connection to the unseen audience she envisioned, friends, neighbors, and strangers who might find solace in her words. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the garden, Elena turned to Mr. Thompson. "What if we share our stories, not just of the garden, but of ourselves? We could invite others to speak about their connections to nature, to this space." Mr. Thompson's eyes sparkled with approval. "Brilliant! Stories have the power to unite us, to remind us of our shared humanity. It is through our stories that we can inspire others to care." With a renewed sense of purpose, Elena began to craft invitations that not only spoke of the garden, but also encouraged others to share their experiences, their memories, and their dreams. She envisioned a gathering filled with laughter, voices blending together in harmony, and the garden alive with the spirit of community. As the days passed, she felt a shift within herself. The fears that once held her captive began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of belonging to something greater. The garden, with its wildflowers and hidden beauty, became her sanctuary, a reminder that even in the most chaotic places, there could exist a haven of peace. But with each passing day, the clock ticked louder in her mind, reminding her of the urgency to act before it was too late. She found herself torn between her corporate obligations and her newfound passion for the garden, grappling with the fear of stepping away from the path she had always followed. And yet, as she looked at the vibrant blooms surrounding her, she felt a flicker of courage ignite within. "Perhaps," she mused, "this is the moment I have been waiting for, a chance to reclaim my narrative, to intertwine my story with that of the garden." As the sun began to set, Elena felt the warmth of the garden seep into her bones. The sounds of rustling leaves and chirping crickets wrapped around her like a comforting embrace. She closed her eyes, allowing herself to dream of the gathering, of the stories that would be shared, and the connections that would blossom. And in that tranquil moment, she realized that her journey was not only about saving the garden, but also about finding herself amidst the chaos of life. Dear listeners, she thought, envisioning her audience, if you find yourself longing for a place of peace in this bustling world, remember that you too can create your own sanctuary. Let the beauty of nature inspire you to seek connection, to share your stories, and to nurture the seeds of hope within yourself. As she prepared to leave the garden that evening, the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, a reminder that even in darkness, light could be found. Before you drift into your dreams, she whispered to herself, carry with you the knowledge that you are not alone in your journey. Let the whispers of the garden guide you, and may you find solace in the beauty that surrounds you. And with that thought, she took a deep breath, inhaling the sweet scent of jasmine one last time before stepping back into the world, ready to embrace the challenges ahead. As the story unfolds, we invite you, dear listeners, to subscribe and join us in this journey of discovery, where we'll explore the beauty of connection and the power of nature. Together, let us find our way back to the forgotten gardens in our lives, nurturing the seeds of hope and love that lie within us all. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the sun dipped lower, the sky transformed into a canvas of deep blues and purples, casting a soothing twilight glow over the forgotten garden. The air was infused with the sweet scent of blooming jasmine, mingling with the earthy aroma of damp soil. Elena stood at the entrance, her heart racing as she felt the delicate pull of the garden beckoning her. It had become her sanctuary, a refuge from the chaotic world outside. Yet today, a heaviness settled within her. Mr. Thompson, the elderly caretaker, was already there, nestled on the weathered bench that had seen countless moments of joy and sorrow. His silver hair shimmered like the stars beginning to peek through the evening sky. He looked up and smiled warmly, yet there was a shadow of concern etched on his face. "Elena," he called softly, his voice calm and steady, "come sit with me. I have something important to share." Elena approached, her heart fluttering with trepidation. She had grown to cherish these evenings filled with stories and laughter, but the gravity in his tone sent a shiver through her. She took a seat beside him, the wood creaking ever so slightly under her weight. "What is it, Mr. Thompson?" she asked gently, her curiosity mingling with apprehension. He glanced toward the garden, where the flowers seemed to sway in harmony with the whispering breeze. "You know how I've spoken about the developers wanting to buy this land." He paused, as if gathering the strength to continue. "Well, I received word today that they plan to begin clearing the garden next week." Elena's heart sank, the weight of his words crashing over her like a sudden wave. "But there has to be something we can do. This garden means so much to so many people." Mr. Thompson nodded, his expression a mix of sadness and determination. "I've devoted my life to this garden, Elena. It was my late wife's favorite place. She believed in its magic, and I've tried to keep that spirit alive. But I can't do this alone." The air hung thick with unspoken fears and dreams. Elena felt a surge of anger, not only at the thought of losing the garden, but also at herself for feeling so powerless. Her mind raced back to the countless moments she had spent here, each one a lifeline, pulling her away from the relentless tide of her corporate life. "Let's organize a community meeting," she suggested, her voice trembling with a newfound resolve. "We can gather people to fight for the garden. If we come together, we might be able to save it." Mr. Thompson's eyes sparkled with hope, and he placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "That's the spirit, my dear. But remember, change can be daunting. We need to rally the community, but we must also prepare for the possibility of loss. As the sun dipped below the horizon, shadows danced among the flowers, and the first stars began to twinkle overhead. Elena took a deep breath, inhaling the fragrant air filled with the promise of blooms yet to come. Yet beneath her determination lay a gnawing fear, a fear of inadequacy, of failing not only the garden, but herself. "I've never done anything like this before," she admitted quietly. "I'm not sure I'm capable of leading a movement." Mr. Thompson turned to her, his gaze steady and unwavering. "You possess a strength you may not yet recognize, Elena. This garden has shown you who you are. Embrace that. You're not alone in this fight." His words seeped into her consciousness, intertwining with her doubts and fears, slowly transforming them into a flicker of hope. She nodded, feeling the warmth of connection seep into her bones. As they sat in silence, the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant sound of crickets filled the air. Moments stretched like the twilight sky, and beneath it all, the garden pulsed with life, as if urging them to act. But just as Elena began to feel a sense of purpose, the oppressive weight of doubt returned, anchoring her spirit. She glanced around the garden, taking in the beauty of the wildflowers swaying in the light breeze, and a thought struck her, a memory from her childhood. "Mr. Thompson," she began, her voice barely above a whisper, "I remember when I was a child, my grandmother used to tell me stories about gardens that had the power to heal. She believed that every flower had a story, a memory tied to it. This garden, it feels like a living story." "Yes," he replied softly, his eyes reflecting the moonlight. "Every flower, every leaf has a tale to tell. We must ensure that these stories do not vanish." Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled ever so slightly, a soft rumble echoing in the distance. They both turned toward the sound, the reality of the impending threat looming like a dark cloud. "Do you hear that?" Elena asked, her heart racing. Mr. Thompson nodded gravely. "It's the machinery. They're beginning their preparations. Time is running out." Elena felt a surge of panic. "We need to act now." She rose to her feet, urgency coursing through her veins. "We can't let them take our stories." The two of them rushed to the garden gate, where the city's noise began to seep back in, the distant hum of engines and chatter reminding them of the world outside the sanctuary. As they stepped out into the dimly lit streets, a soft drizzle began to fall, gentle droplets kissing their skin, almost as if nature herself was weeping for the garden. They hurried to spread the word, knocking on doors, speaking to neighbors, anyone who would listen. Hours passed, and with every door they knocked on, a flicker of hope ignited within Elena. The community began to rally, voices rising in unison as they shared their love for the garden, their memories entwined with its blossoms. But as the night deepened, Elena's heart began to sink once more. Despite the growing support, the shadows of doubt loomed large. What if it wasn't enough? What if their voices were drowned out by the relentless machinery of progress? Later that evening, after a long day of rallying support, Elena returned to the garden, exhausted but still hopeful. The moon hung high in the sky, casting a silvery sheen over the wildflowers. She found Mr. Thompson sitting on the bench, his expression a mixture of pride and concern. "Did you see how many people came forward?" Elena exclaimed, her voice filled with a blend of excitement and disbelief. "I did," he replied, a soft smile breaking through his worry. "You've inspired them, Elena. You've lit a fire in their hearts." But as she sat beside him, a nagging thought crept back into her mind. "But will it be enough? What if they don't listen? What if we fail?" "Failure is a part of life," Mr. Thompson said gently, his gaze fixed on the stars above. "But what matters is that we try. You've already changed lives today, just by sharing the garden story." As they sat together, the night deepening around them, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that something monumental was about to happen. The garden seemed to shimmer under the moonlight, colors shifting in unexpected ways, a vibrant tapestry of life. Suddenly, a brilliant flash lit up the garden, illuminating the flowers in hues of pink and gold. Elena gasped, her heart racing. "What is happening?" she whispered, mesmerized by the kaleidoscope of colors. Mr. Thompson stood, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's blooming!" he exclaimed, a profound joy radiating from his voice. "It's alive!" The flowers swayed and danced, colors bursting forth as if the garden were celebrating its very existence. Elena felt tears prick at her eyes, the beauty of it all overwhelming her. In that moment, she realized the garden was not just a collection of plants. It was a living testament to hope and resilience. But then, as quickly as it began, the brilliance faded, leaving behind a tranquil glow. An unexpected calm washed over her, and she felt a profound connection to the garden and to her own spirit. Mr. Thompson turned to her, his expression serious, yet filled with warmth. "You see, Elena, sometimes the greatest transformations happen in moments of stillness. The garden is reminding us of its power." In that moment, as the moonlight enveloped them in a soft embrace, Elena understood something crucial about herself. The garden's fight was not just about preservation. It was about embracing change and finding strength in vulnerability. She was meant to be a part of this story, her own story. With newfound clarity, Elena took Mr. Thompson's hand, squeezing it gently. "Let's make sure the world knows about this garden. Together, we can inspire change." The two of them stood in the heart of the forgotten garden, surrounded by the whispers of history and the promise of a brighter future. And as they looked up at the stars, Elena felt the burdens of doubt lift, replaced by a sense of belonging and purpose. At that moment, she knew that whatever happened next, they would face it together, intertwined with the garden's legacy, a legacy of love, loss, and the unyielding spirit of hope. As they stood there, a gentle breeze caressed their skin, and the night whispered secrets only the garden could tell. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. With the moonlight casting a silvery glow over the forgotten garden, Elena felt a profound sense of determination swell within her. The vibrant colors of blooming flowers surrounded her, each petal whispering stories of resilience and hope. This little sanctuary, once neglected and quiet, was now alive with the energy of life, a reflection of the journey she had undertaken. In the days that followed her meaningful conversation with Mr. Thompson, Elena dedicated herself to rallying the community around the garden. Every evening, she would sit on a bench beneath the large, ancient oak tree, its leaves rustling softly in the gentle breeze, and sketch out plans for the gathering. The air was filled with the sweet scent of jasmine, and the distant sound of laughter from children playing nearby reminded her that joy thrived even in the urban chaos. On the day of the gathering, her heart fluttered with a mix of excitement and nerves. She had placed flyers around the neighborhood, inviting everyone to come together to discuss the fate of the garden. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, neighbors started to arrive, curious and hopeful. They brought along their stories and memories, each voice adding to the tapestry of connection that enveloped the space. Mr. Thompson, with his wise eyes and gentle smile, stood beside Elena, offering words of encouragement. "This garden has always been a haven," he said softly, "but it's the people who breathe life into it. Together, we can make a difference." As the gathering commenced, Elena took a deep breath, inhaling the fragrant air filled with the scent of blooming lilacs. She spoke about her love for the garden, her desire to preserve its beauty, and the importance of community. "This place is not just a garden," she explained, her voice steady and clear, resonating with passion. "It's a reminder that we can find peace even amidst chaos. It's a sanctuary for all of us." The crowd listened intently, some nodding in agreement, others sharing their own experiences of the garden's healing presence. The stories flowed like a gentle stream, rich with nostalgia and warmth. An elderly woman spoke of her late husband and how they used to stroll through the garden hand in hand, while a young girl shared how the garden had become her favorite place to draw. Each story reinforced the bond among the attendees, weaving a fabric of unity and purpose. As night fell, the atmosphere was transformed by the soft glow of fairy lights strung around the garden. The familiar sounds of nature filled the air, crickets chirping, leaves whispering secrets to the night, and the distant murmur of the city fading away like a forgotten memory. It was as if the garden itself was breathing, embracing each person present in a gentle hug. Motivated by the shared love for the garden, Elena proposed a plan to protect it. Together, they would petition the city council, gather signatures, and raise awareness about the importance of preserving green spaces in urban environments. Let's show them that this garden is more than just land. It's a living part of our community, she urged, her heart swelling with hope. In the weeks that followed, the garden blossomed not only with flowers, but also with friendship and collaboration. Neighbors came together for cleanup days, planting new flowers, and sharing meals under the oak tree. The garden became a refuge for all, a place where laughter echoed and connections flourished. Elena felt a transformation within herself. She was no longer the timid woman lost in a sea of self-doubt. She had emerged as a leader, embracing her identity with newfound confidence and purpose. The day of the city council meeting arrived, and Elena stood at the podium, her heart pounding in her chest. She looked out at the faces of her neighbors, each one reflecting the love they shared for the garden. With every word she spoke, she poured her heart into the plea for preservation. This garden is not just a patch of earth, it's a sanctuary that nurtures our spirits. It teaches us the importance of community, nature, and healing. As she finished her speech, the room erupted in applause. The city council members exchanged glances, clearly moved by the passion displayed. In that moment, Elena realized that she had found her voice, an echo of the garden's essence, reminding her that she too was worthy of being heard. Weeks turned into months, and finally, the council announced their decision. The garden would be preserved. The news spread like wildfire, igniting joy and relief among the community. Elena felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. The garden was safe, a testament to the power of unity and love. As she returned to the garden, under the soft glow of the moonlight, Elena whispered a silent thank you to the space that had nurtured her spirit. She sat on the familiar bench, feeling the gentle caress of the evening breeze. The garden, once forgotten, was now alive with purpose, a sacred space where dreams took root and blossomed. In this moment, she understood the profound lesson that had unfolded before her. Life would always present challenges, but it was in embracing change and connecting with others that she discovered her strength and resilience. The garden was not merely a refuge. It was a mirror reflecting her journey of self-discovery, acceptance, and love. As the stars twinkled above, she closed her eyes, letting the peace of the garden envelop her like a warm blanket. She breathed in the calming sense of night-blooming flowers, allowing tranquility to wash over her. The world around her faded into a soft lullaby, a gentle reminder that she was exactly where she needed to be. And so, dear listener, as you find your own moments of peace amidst the chaos of life, remember that you too hold the power to create change. Embrace the beauty around you, nurture your connections, and let your spirit bloom just like the flowers in the forgotten garden. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.